Hi everybody and welcome back to another video of our fighting game course. Today we're gonna be working on our main camera. So we want to make it able to follow the player. Alright, and we have small things to fix, such as you'll notice that if I'm moving and I channel our throwing sprite, then or move, then we are able to move while channeling the throwing sprite, and we don't want that to happen. Actually, I don't even want to use the move unless I am close to the player. So what I'm gonna do is, well, let's go to our free state, or actually, since we are here, where is it? Throw state. Okay, so here we can simply say if landed, we want the horizontal speed to be 0, so that we don't we won't be able to move while using that move also. So so here is like the throwing forward and backward, right? And I don't want that to happen unless I'm close to the enemy. So first we need to check if instance exists. What did I call it? Opponent, I think, right? And so we need to move these inside the if statement, so just like that. Not only that, but we need to check the distance to the opponent. All right, so I'm gonna say if distance, or you know what, I'm gonna do something like this: if the absolute value of x minus opponent.x, let's say, is less than maybe like 60. I think 60 should be good. All right. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna run the game, and while it's compiling, I'm gonna create another object. Okay, and I'm gonna name it obj camera. Okay, all right, so let's check this out, and let's see. Well, let me first try. Okay, so you can see that I cannot use the throw move when I'm far from the my opponent, right? But if I get close to it, I can use it. Actually, let's see how close can we get before using it. So I'm here, I still can't use it. Now I can. All right, so that's pretty good, I would say. Now we need to work on our camera so that the camera will follow the players, because the battlefield is actually pretty big. So yeah, let's work on that. Well, I've created an object called obj camera, and so let's add a create event here. Create event, and just make a global variable called global.camera equals this, or what's it called, itself? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Actually, let's go now to the controller. Okay, now when we spawn the players, we want to also create the camera. Okay, so we can do that like here, it doesn't really matter where, just make sure to create the camera after you create the players. So I'm gonna create the camera here. So I'm gonna say cam equals instance create layer. Okay, of course I did. Instance create layer. Okay, so so let's create it in the middle of the room. So that's gonna be room width divided by 2, room height divided by 2. Okay, so the layer ID is gonna be instances and the obj is going to be obj camera. Okay, now what do we want to do with this camera? Well, basically we need to make the camera in the middle of these two players, so P1 and P2, right? So let's go and add a step event in here, and I'm gonna actually create a region and region. Okay, so here I'm gonna say camera movement. So our goal is to basically find the center between the two players, and that's basically simple to do. So all we gotta do is, actually, you know what, let me go to the camera first, and I'm gonna add one more variable here, and I'm gonna call it target position. Target position x. We know what target x equals x, target y equals y. Okay, so the target x and target y is the position basically where the camera needs to go. Okay, and to make it smooth, let's actually add a speed. So let's give it a speed of like 4. Yeah, I think 4 is gonna be pretty good. Now I'm gonna add the step event in the camera. Okay, and I'm gonna say while. Should we use while? No, I'm gonna go with f. So if distance to point, well, this is gonna be target x, right? And target y is less than what's it called? SPD, I think, right? Yeah. Then well, it needs to use the curly braces. So in this case, we wanna, you know, fix our position. Target y. Can't type. I'm still not used to this keyboard. Okay, so if the distance to the point that we want to go to is less than speed, then we want to snap the camera to that position. Else, we're gonna move to it, and basically we're gonna do that by saying direction equals point direction I can't type point direction. Actually, do you want to do it this way, or yeah, whatever. Point direction. So x1 is gonna be x, y, and here it's gonna be target x, target y. Okay, let's actually not use direction, just temporary variable called there. And here we want to increase both the x value by so it's gonna be length there x, I think, or whatever it's called, length there x. Yeah, so the length is gonna be like SPD, and the direction is gonna be there. We're gonna do the same thing with the length there y, so SPD, direction. So this is basically is gonna move the y value. You can actually achieve the same thing using the cosine, I think, of the this angle times speed, and the sine is for the y value, I believe, if my math is correct. But yeah, basically these functions are so let me just middle click in here, and it's gonna open up the help menu. Well, basically, if you have like the polar coordinates or whatever they call, I don't know what they're called in English, but let me show you something. I think they're called the polar coordinates. I don't know. Yeah, so basically, so this is like the circle, right? And this is the middle of the circle, which is like the origin. let's say that we want to move to this point right here, so from here to here. We know the direction obviously because of the angle from here, right? And this is the distance that we want to move. So x plus length dir x is basically this distance from here to here, right? Y plus length dir y, length there is this distance from here to here. So basically it's just like moving the player from here to this point right here, which is our target point. I believe you can do this the same thing with using like the cosine value of this angle multiplied by the speed. Yeah, and you can use the sinus of this angle, so you can do something like this, like y plus equals sinus of direction times SPD. But yeah, we're gonna go with the length there, x and y. Alright, so now we just need to get these coordinates from our controller, right? So basically we're gonna update the target location in here. So target x is gonna be p1.x plus p2.x divided by 2. So make sure that these are in parentheses. Okay. And for the room height, or sorry, for the target y position, I think we're gonna keep it room height divided by 2, because I want the camera to be always in the middle. So yeah. Sorry about that noise, but the street is a little bit noisy today. Even though it's 9 p.m. but okay. Okay, so now that we have our target location, now we need to move our camera. So I think it's better to do it in here, in the step event. So here we need to move our camera. So how are we gonna do that? Well, I think there is a function in GameMaker, if I'm not wrong, camera set view target. Is it view target? Let me check. So we have the border. Yeah, I think we need to use both these functions. So set view border and set view target. Yeah. So we're gonna set the view target to, obviously, well, it's gonna be view camera 0 because we're using the first camera, and the target is self or global.camera, if you remember from the create event. It's the same thing, and we need to fix the border, right? So I'm gonna say camera set view border. So the camera obviously is the same one that we are using, so view camera 0. So the border is gonna be room width divided by 4, I believe, and room height as the y border, because we don't want the room to be split in half. So let me just double check the game room, and as you can see, we have views enabled. If I can get that panel, where's the how can I show the other panel? Well, let me see. Okay, so it just had to go to, room, and then room properties. This panel wasn't showing for some reason, and I didn't know how to bring it back. But anyway, since we're here, you can see that the views are in fact enabled. So it is enable view, and the view camera 0 is the one that we are using. So basically the script just changed these settings, so that we're using like a quarter of the room as the border. Is it half or the border? I think it's supposed to be half, isn't it? Yeah, I think I need to change that. So this should be room weight divided by 2, I believe. Okay, now let's run the game actually and see if the camera is working. Hopefully it is. Alright, so let's check the game out. Now as you can see, the camera is clearly moving with the player. So let's see if I run. Now here's the problem. You can see that if let's say that this character is sitting right here and this character keeps going to the other side, the camera technically is still working just fine. However, our characters are outside of the screen borders, so we can't see them. Now this is something that can be fixed. However, I'm gonna need to so you can either like zoom out, so you can increase like the view border, but then you'll have to make your room a little bit bigger. Maybe you'll need a even bigger background. So that's one way to fix it. However, I'm gonna make characters unable to like go outside the border. So if this character is sitting here, right, and this character is moving, I won't allow him to like keep moving if the distance between him and the players, or sorry, the opponent is, you know, greater than whatever this distance is, which is probably like the room width minus like 100 or something. Okay, so we can easily do that by going to our script, which is I'm pretty sure we did that in the collision and movements. Okay, so here, so we're only concerned about the horizontal speed, right? And we can simply do this: if distance to object opponent is let's say greater than room width divided by 2 minus 100 this time, because I think 50 wasn't enough, then we're just gonna say x minus equals h speed, and I think that's gonna be it's gonna do the same thing, hopefully. And we don't need to worry about the y position. So let's check this out and see if it's gonna work. Hopefully it will. Alright, so let's pick our characters. Ready, and okay, so let's go to from here. Oh, yep, that's doing it, yep. So let's check when we try to throw the characters. Okay, so I'm gonna throw this character. Yep, the camera still like follows us, and let me try to throw this character. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now I don't want to make this tutorial pretty long, so this one was pretty simple, you know, just mess with the camera, and we can actually get rid of, you know, this hit object. So not literally, we're just gonna make it invisible, because we don't really need to see it. And in the next video, I'm thinking about you know, start working on the AI. So the game is going to be a little bit interesting. Maybe add some effects, visual effects and sound effects. And yeah, so that was it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care and peace.